Taurus gets the opposite of FOMO. And I actually heard on Instagram that the opposite of FOMO is JOMO, which is the joy of missing out, which is what Taurus has. What's good, you guys? Happy Thursday. Welcome to Yap Therapy. How you doing? I'm excited to be here. It's honestly so weird sometimes because when I'm filming, I have to speak as if I'm in the future, right? Because this is Tuesday night, Sarah. No. This is Monday night, Sarah, speaking to you, pretending to be Thursday, Sarah. So sometimes it's a trip having to say a different day when I'm saying hi. But we persist. We carry on. We still do the damn thing. I feel like even though Mercury has been out of retrograde, the shadow period has been hitting still. So bear with me. And speaking of Mercury retrograde and Mercury and Virgo season and Mercury being the planet of communication and yapping, speaking of all of those things, I learned that in the Middle Ages, women who talked too much were punished by being forced to wear metal cages on their heads. That is the craziest thing ever that I learned. I mean, I'm not surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised. I feel like at that time you could literally pick a flower and they'd be like, she's a fucking witch, burn her at the stake. So I'm not surprised that any little thing a woman did, they're like, oh my God, we must stop her. She's crazy. She dares to speak. It's apparently called the Scold's Brittle. It was used on women. This prevented speaking and resulted in many unpleasant side effects for the wearer, including excessive salivation and fatigue in the mouth. For extra humiliation, a bell could also be attached to draw crowds. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Why not just let her speak and draw up crowds that way? Why are you drawing up crowds to embarrass her? Let the woman be a stand-up comedian. What is your fucking issue? That is actually insane. That is actually fucking insane. Honestly, I feel like that would be literally my personal hell. At that point, just kill me. If I can't talk freely, if I literally cannot open my mouth and share my opinion and yap and yell at you, argue with you, laugh with you, giggle with you, talk shit with you, debate with you, what is the point of living? As a Gemini moon, at that point, just off me. What is the point? And it just made me think, I wish there was data to see the signs of the women that got into the most trouble when this, law had taken effect, because I have a genuine idea of who the top signs would be. If they were to do a zodiac list of the women that got into trouble during the Middle Ages for talking the most, and they had to use that device, the Scold's Brittle. I feel like the signs that would be there at the top of that list are Gemini, Sagittarius, and Libra. For obvious reasons. Because, even though Virgo is Mercury ruled, Virgo knows how to mind their business. And they can have a solo conversation with themselves in their head and dissect the situation and get into the nitty gritty of it without being bored. They'll be fine here. I fear for the sanity of my fellow Geminis and Sagittariuses and Libras. To be quiet for what? Truly, that's a scary, scary place to be. Gemini people need to express themselves, okay? And if you take away their ability to do that, they're not like Virgo where all they need is their own voice in their head. No, they're gonna go crazy. Their two personalities, the two twins, if those are the only two people that can talk to each other, I fear that Gemini will actually be insane. Those two twins, they need interactions. They need to be socialized, How, kids, they say, with kids or, dogs too, right? Where they're, when they're young, they need to be socialized, so they get along with people when they grow up. That's Gemini energy. If you do not socialize Gemini energy and give those twins the ability to talk and experience people, different people, they will go crazy. They will go insane. Sagittarius, for obvious reasons. Try telling us Sagittarius woman that she can't have an opinion and she can't talk. Good luck. We now have our next world dictator. You know what I mean? Like, do not even think that a Sagittarius is going to stand by that. And they'll be on the run before you even put that device on them. They're already running to the next place. They're going to go talk their shit and be like, yeah, the last country I was in, they were so close-minded. They wouldn't even allow me to speak. They will actually make it their whole entire life purpose to go after the person that invented this device. And then Libra would be at the top of that list. But somehow, I just have a feeling Libra is going to charm the person that put it on them to like leave a couple of screws loose. You know what I mean? I don't even know how this device works. But in my opinion, they can like loosen it a little bit. So her captive, or the person that put it on her, Libra can let them know, hey, listen, I promise I'll be good. You know what I mean? I won't talk too much. Just like give me a little bit of freedom. You know what I mean? And Libra will get away with that. Whereas Sag and Gemini, they can come off a little bit strong. You know what I mean? If anything, they're going to be driving you crazy, asking you all the questions. Libra's going to pretend that they're good and that they're well behaved. And they're going to kind of ask you little questions about you, make it seem like they're interested in your life. And then right at the very end of you putting this device on them, they'll charm you a little bit. Because, you know, you just made a new friend. Like, Libra's your friend, you know? And that's how they'll get away with having a little bit of wiggle room. And that's how Libra gets away with damn near everything. They always are on people's good graces. And it's a powerful thing to be able to be on most people's good sides. And that's how Libra honestly gets away with a lot of the shit, or a lot of the shit that they get into, is that they have friends everywhere. Everywhere. Libra has friends everywhere. Have you ever walked outside with your Libra friend? They know everyone. They know everyone. That's just the name of the game. They like everyone and everyone likes them. Do you guys ever like learn a piece of history and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, already, like, everything that we've learned in like history, like classes, it's like fucked up, right? And they're not even sharing, I feel like, the craziest shit. I'm just saying. But you know, with all that propaganda and all that shit. But for the most part, I also feel like being on social media, I learned shit about history and like shit that has happened in the past, and I'm like, truly, like, humanity, we always kind of sucked. Like, I don't get it. Like, why are there so many bad stories? And I know that like usually bad stories, especially in the news, that's what draws up a lot of attention, so it's really easy to focus on the bad. But still, like, sometimes I just read shit about the past and I'm like, we were heartless and we were ruthless and we were disgusting. Like, what is wrong with humanity? But anyway, sorry to be a hater and a Virgo season pessimist. Let's get into some fun shit. Okay, speaking of also Virgo season and Virgo energy, you know, since Virgo energy is all about like taking care of your physical health, I saw this zodiac list that was separating each sign based on 3 different categories of their sleeping habits. And this was fascinating, so I'm going to post it here. And we're going to kind of go through it because there's signs in each category that I don't think they belong there. So we're going to go through that. There's 3 different categories: wake up early, sleep late, probably haven't slept in a week. In the wake up early category, we have Cancer, Virgo, Leo, Pisces, Capricorn. I would say that I actually agree with every single one of them except for Pisces. In what world does a Pisces wake up early willingly? Pisces, if it was like normal and okay, honestly, they don't even care if it's normal. If they were able to sleep for 22 hours out of the 24 hours that we have, Pisces would do that shit. Truly. And they would not even feel bad about it. They really wouldn't. It just needs to be something that they can do without all the other aspect of their lives falling apart. But like, truly, like, the original love story is the love story between a Pisces and their bed. Really. Really, I'm telling you, they have such a vivid imagination, and I feel like Pisces energy just thrives in the subconscious, and truly any chance for them to not be in this reality, aka sleep and rest. I mean, also they're ruled by the 12th house, 12th house of the subconscious. So I feel like they get more tired than the average person. That is how I feel. I'm not out here making excuses because I know some of you Pisceans, you can be a little lazy. But I will say, I genuinely think because, Pisces energy ties into those 12th house themes, they need more rest and sleep than the average person because they need to figure out and piece together what is happening up here in the subconscious more than normal people. And it's wild that they're in the wake up early crowd in this list because it's just not true. Like, I'm sorry. No. Cancer, yes. I feel like Cancers, it can kind of be like wishy-washy for them. I feel like I know Cancers that wake up really, really early, but then I know Cancers that are super night owls. I think it really has to do with where they are in their Cancer roller coaster emotional journey. Like, I feel like when they're happy and feel safe, they are able to sleep more. But when they are feeling a little bit erratic is when they're night owls and like they're little crackheads. Like, I feel like Cancers, yeah, they shouldn't be up past 9 o'clock p.m. Why are you awake, Cancer, past that time? You know what I mean? It's time for you to go to sleep. Go to sleep, okay? Your energy needs rest. Cardinal water, okay? And Virgo is obviously in the wake up early crowd. Like, how else are they going to feel fulfilled about their day if they haven't started it at 5 a.m.? You know what I mean? Virgo actually gets probably the most anxious if they get up and they're still in bed. You know what I mean? They have the pre-day scaries. You know how there's like the Sunday scaries? Virgo has the pre-day scaries probably every day. They're like, what do I need to do? What's on the list? Am I going to get it done? Because I'm pathetic if I don't. There's something wrong with me. I'm broken if I can't get through all 13 of these tasks today. Relax, Virgo. It's okay. You should honestly have one day a week where you just sleep in, Virgo. I know that sounds so spooky to you, and I know that makes you feel like you ain't shit, but I'm telling you, you deserve a morning where you just like sleep in till 8. Ooh, really treat yourself. Leo's also part of that wake up early crowd, and it makes so much sense because Leo obviously wants to be presentable for the day, wants to put their best foot forward. They want to be prepared, and they want to look good too. You know what I mean? The Leo archetype, they know that they'll be more respected if they are dressed for the job, if they look the part for the job, whatever it may be. They value looking good, and they also respect people that look good too because it shows that you care. And Leo, more than anything, wants to feel confident. And they believe, and I also believe, look good, feel good. It's so true. Like, you cannot tell me that when you're having a shitty day, if you just get up and do something for yourself where you look good a little bit, it could be literally the tiniest thing, you don't feel better. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all for having those days where you're still wearing your pajamas and you're just rotting in bed and you're binging The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or New York if you're feeling crazy. And, like you just don't even give a fuck what you look like. I'm here for it. I feel like everyone should have those days once in a while. But personally, I feel like if you're feeling really down and you have the ability to do something nice for yourself where you look a little better, I promise you it's going to make you feel better. It really, really is. It's so simple. And I think Leo understands that. They know that if they are looking their best, they'll be able to perform their best throughout the day. And that requires waking up early. You know what I mean? They can be early birds in that sense because they want to be prepared for their day. They want to go into it confidently. And to be honest, doing anything, when you're late, if you're running late for anything, you feel flustered and you don't feel your most confident. That's just a fact. Anytime you want to lead a day with confidence or you want to go somewhere and interview, whatever, I genuinely believe you should be a little bit earlier because it gives you that time to feel confident and for your nerves to settle. You know what I mean? When you're rushing, you don't even have time to really figure out how you're feeling, whether you're prepared, how you want to be, what you want to say. You're just kind of rushing because you need to get there. Whereas if you leave early, time isn't on your mind. You're just able to focus on the task at hand. So that's how I feel. And it perfectly ties into Capricorn also being on this list. And I'm a Capricorn rising, so I think everything I just said about how I feel in terms of time, it has to do with the fact that I'm a Capricorn rising. I mean, I do have a Leo Mars too. I just genuinely believe Capricorn energy values time. They're ruled by Saturn, right? So they know that time is not infinite. And they know that if they start their day early, again, just like Leo, they'll have a better chance of having a more productive day. They want to have those extra hours at the beginning of their day where everything is quiet to feel prepared. And honestly, there really is something about those few hours in the morning when you wake up early where it's just quiet and you can do what you need to do before the rest of the world wakes up. And I think Capricorn enjoys that. Capricorn also doesn't want to feel like they're behind. Like, everyone can start their day at a different time, but something about starting later than most people, I feel like it makes Capricorn feel shitty about themselves. It's like, well, yeah, I could have woken up at 8, but the fact that everyone got a head start before me, no. I feel like I'm behind. I feel like I'm not taking my life seriously. They're going to get super down and hard on themselves because they feel like they wasted their day. They really care about that. And productivity is the name of the game for Capricorn. They want to show up and they want to make use of all the time that they have. They have that in common with Virgo. It's like, well, we have 24 hours in the day. I need to get up. I need to get moving. I need to do shit. I need to make it worth my while. Okay, the next category here is the sleep late crowd. So here we have Sagittarius, Libra, Gemini, Taurus. Why are the 2 Venus ruled signs here? I'm sorry, like, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with Taurus and Libra sleeping late. Let's talk about why Taurus doesn't belong here. Taurus is in bed by 7 p.m. If they ain't got shit to do, they're in bed by 7, falling asleep by 8. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why they would be here. And I'm sorry, when you probably have like a 5 million thread count sheet, you know what I mean? Like the most expensive, luxurious bedding, and you probably ate some bomb ass food, the life of a Taurus. How could you not want to fall asleep by 7:30 p.m. sharp? Like, actually, they're the types that have the most beautiful bedtime routine. Not that they even need one. You know who needs a fucking bedtime routine? An Aries. You know what I mean? But Taurians, even though they are literally the rocks, like they will fall asleep and stay asleep. But they're the types to have bedtime routines as if they need one. But it's really sweet. It's pretty cute. And I think everyone should learn from Taurus, you know? Once you're tired, you have nothing to prove. Just go to sleep. Go to sleep. And that's another thing is, like, I feel like the sleep late crowd, it should be people that get FOMO. It should be the people that are like, they're ready to keep it going, are rallying. I do not think of Taurus as that. Like, Taurus gets the opposite of FOMO. And I actually heard on Instagram that the opposite of FOMO is JOMO, which is the joy of missing out, which is what Taurus has. You know what I mean? So I do not think of them as the types of people that stay up late because they value their sleep. They don't feel the need to prove themselves by staying out and, like, you know what I mean? Showing that they still got it. They're the life of the party. No. They're tired. They're gone. Nothing can make them stay. And they're okay with that. You can tell them the story tomorrow. And yeah, with Libra, I have a tough time Libra being here too, because Libra is also Venus ruled. And from what I know, Libra loves their beauty sleep. They do. They need their rest. Everyone needs sleep, obvi. Some signs need sleep more than others. In my opinion, the Venusians and Pisces need sleep more than other signs. And that is for Pisces, obviously, because they're ruled by the 12th house of dreams and the subconscious. And then for Taurus and Libra, because they're ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty. So they genuinely value their sleep time and they feel rejuvenated and happy and confident when they get the best sleep. So I just don't see why Libra would be in the sleep late crowd. I think if anything, they would be in the wake up early crowd because Libra also cares about the way they look. They want to present the best version of themselves to the world. Libra is known to be a little superficial, but in my opinion, I feel like we need Libra energy. We need people who care about the way they look. It makes everyone else try more. You know, you need the Libras and the Leos. You do. You do. Because they set the standard of beauty and everyone else realizes, okay, maybe I should try. So with that being said, Libra would definitely be in the wake up early crowd. And for Libra, perfection takes time. You know what I mean? Again, aesthetics are everything to them. They are such visual people. And like Leo, they want to feel confident because Libra is so social and they're talking to everyone. And, you know, it's funny, you know, when you're having a bad day or you don't feel your best, most people, they want to retreat. They don't want to be around people. They don't want to be seen because they feel like there's something wrong with them that day. Or I don't know, when something is wrong where you are not confident in the way that you look, it makes you less confident in your ability to speak to people and be charming. And Libra understands that, which is why it's like breathing air. It's second nature to them. They wake up, they want to look good because they know they're going to be talking to a lot of people. There's just something about being Venus ruled and their ability to get shit done when they feel good about the way that they look. And we have Sagittarius in the sleep late crowd too, which is true. That one I definitely agree with. Sagittarius, they be on that demon time late at night. You know what I mean? I feel like they truly feel very much alive. Gemini too. These two sister signs, they do such great things at nighttime. I feel like that is when they have the most energy. And it kind of makes sense, I feel like, if you think about it, because for most people that are working traditional jobs, like you kind of have to be on and be demure and like, you know, be chill at your day job, right? So I feel like because of that, Sagittarius and Geminis, they really get to be unhinged and be themselves later throughout the day, and they like to stay up. They're always excitable people. They're always talking to a bunch of people. So with that being said, I feel like late at night they can really express all their opinions and laughs, and they love to have like 10 different group texts going, or they're on a FaceTime call with someone while they're watching something. Like Sagittarius and Geminis truly are always talking to someone. I've noticed literally either on FaceTime or they have people over, and they do thrive staying up late at night. And I would say at like parties or gatherings or dinners or whatever, if someone comes over, usually Sag and Gemini are the types to be up the latest. They don't need sleep. Team no sleep. Like they will stay up and talk and chat. And Sag will talk about, you know, your entire life's purpose and what it means to be a human on this planet. Gemini will tell you about their new hyperfixation hobby that is the best part of their life, you know? So there's always room to talk when it comes to these two signs, and they don't get tired often. Like if the energy is there and there's someone available where they can bounce back and forth with, Sag and Gemini can pull all-nighters. Okay, and then the final category is probably haven't slept in a week. And here we have Scorpio, Aries, Aquarius. Yes, they nailed this one. I don't know what you guys think, but I think they nailed this one. Yeah, like as a Scorpio, I can confirm here we got restless sleep, sleep apnea, sleep paralysis demon, like we have the works, and I feel that way about all three of these. It's actually so funny that both the Mars ruled signs, Scorpio and Aries, are in the probably haven't slept in a week, because truly if there's something bothering us, and just know there's usually something bothering us, Mars ruled, we love to get angry and annoyed, and there usually is a fight that we're in the middle of. I don't mean like fight with someone, but like something that is bothering us, that is weighing heavy on our mind and our heart, that is making us not sleep. Like as a Scorpio, I swear I have the most insane nightmares if there's just something off in my life. Truly, like the most insane unhinged nightmares, to the point where when I was a kid, I felt like there was something wrong. I'm like, this is not normal. Like, this is crazy. The older I get, when I have these nightmares, I'm just like, that's just life. Like, I don't know anything else besides that. Like, and I've explained some of these nightmares in detail to my friends and my boyfriend. They're like, holy shit. Like, what is going on in your dreams? I'm like, I really don't know. It's a battlefield. And it's crazy because that's just like the norm. But ever since I got on my like depression meds, I feel like I've been getting the best sleep of my life. Of my life. And I actually learned it's because these meds, they actually, I guess, I'm not a medical expert, but they essentially help with your REM cycle. They make sure that you go through your full REM cycle, which helps you get better, more quality sleep. And I love that for me. So that's been really, really nice. But yeah, genuinely, I feel like Scorpio, Aries, and Aquarius, I've known all of these signs, and all of the people that I know that may have these signs in various placements, they struggle with sleep and they struggle with their mind just working overtime. For example, with Scorpio energy, I feel like if something is weighing heavy on our heart, we're replaying it over and over again. That obsessive nature of ours. Instead of sleeping, why sleeping? Why sleep when I can think about this situation from 10 different angles and try and understand why they said what they said and what they really meant when they said it like that, you know? And do they hate me? Because if they hate me, I should have hated them a long time ago. Because how dare they think that they have the power to make me feel this way when they actually do have the power to make me feel this way? Why am I letting them make me feel this way? You know what I mean? Like Scorpio energy, I swear that obsessive nature is what leads to a lot of our sleeping problems because we're overthinking a lot. And we're overthinking alongside with feeling a lot. And those two things combined together is a recipe for disaster when it comes to having a clear mind and when it comes to feeling calm enough to fall asleep. And then next we have, Aries in this category. And yes, obviously, like, come on, cardinal fire, like Aries is always having different ideas. And these different ideas pop up every, 2 to 4 seconds. No, like 2 to 4 hours, I would say. And because they're so excitable, they have these bursts of energy. And if they have a burst of energy, like right before bedtime, I say that in quotation marks, they're going to follow it through. They're going to be like, oh, I feel this energy. I need to release it. And because they're cardinal fire, they like to lead with that burst of energy. And I think in general, Aries placements have a lot of energy. So that's why they don't stress when they don't get enough sleep, I feel like, because they know that they have a lot of energy throughout their day. Aries in general, like truly, like I'm jealous of Aries placements and their ability to just do things when they feel like they want to do it. You know what I mean? They're not thinking about like, oh, maybe I should do it this time or maybe I should do it that time. Like, let me really figure out what's the best time to do it. Aries feels something and they do it. They have that very much in common with Cancer. And I would say Libra and Capricorn, the other two cardinals that are the opposite of Aries and Cancer, so Libra and Capricorn, they are more calm. Like, although they're cardinal, they're still weighing it out a little bit before they decide they want to follow through with whatever idea they had. Whereas Aries and Cancer, they can be a little bit more impulsive when it comes to having these ideas. So in Aries' case, the Martian energy also that they have allows them to operate with a little bit less sleep than the average person. Another thing with Aries too, and I could say with Scorpio too, because we're both Mars ruled, is that the anger, right? So I kind of touched on it. Like when you get angry really quickly or when things bother you often, it's hard for you to fall asleep. And it's hard for you to get restful sleep because, again, there are things that are annoying you and you can't help but let that feeling linger and for you to really feel it. Like Martians in general, they're always constantly thinking about what kind of battlefront they're on. and unwillingly. You know what I mean? They're always wondering what side they're on, what's happening here, what's happening there. They want to be well prepared. And because of that, they have a hard time relaxing because they're kind of always on the defense in that way. And I want different for Aries and Scorpio placements. I don't want you to live your life on the defense, but because we are Martians, we can't help but feel like there's always a fight that needs to be fought. And that really affects our ability to relax and just chill out. And then finally, in the probably haven't slept in a week category is Aquarius. And I absolutely agree with this. Aquarius placements, they're like chronically online. And they're always talking to people too in their own way. Like, again, like they usually probably have a strong community online or via text or phone. If you're older and maybe you don't like social media that much, I just feel like they're constantly talking to people via some form of technology. They don't really feel the need to disconnect. You know what I mean? Like, although they're really good at being loners when they want to be, and they're also fixed air, you know? So they have that obsessive streak in them. Like I talked about with Scorpio and like I talked about with Virgo too. Aquarius, when they have a certain thought or when they are learning about one new subject, they can also get very, very obsessed. And because of that, they will be team no sleep until they figure out how they feel about it, until they learn everything about it. They get super, super obsessed with any new topic that has captured their interest. You know how Aquariuses are when they figure something out and they're like, oh yeah, this is my whole new personality. And no, I haven't slept in the past week because I have been incorporating this new hobby into my everyday life and routine, you know? So when they're doing that, they're kind of shutting away from society, from their friends, from the people that see them. They're like in the depths and darkness of their own room and really, really pouring their heart and soul into this new topic or into this new interest. And I feel like because of that, they will actually sacrifice their sleep to learn more. Okay, so the final topic I have is a pop culture astrology moment topic. So I don't know if you guys have heard about the show The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Again, living under a rock if you haven't. But even if you're living under a rock, I still accept you and I'm not judging you, which means I'm going to give you a brief summary. So it's a dating show, right? Where it's like one girl for The Bachelorette and like 25 guys. Or for The Bachelor, it's one guy and like 25 girls. And then the show ends with the season finale of her two final men or two final girls, and like proposals happen and then they pick the person that they want to marry, right? So it's a proposal. So it's a big deal, right? It's not just like a dating show, like Love Island or whatever, or even like Are You the One, or these random shows where you're just like, yeah, we left together and we're dating. Like this is like an actual proposal, so the stakes are higher and it's a little bit more serious. And this season of The Bachelorette was kind of crazy, especially the ending, because the guy that picked her and the guy that chose The Bachelorette, he had all of us fooled. And I mean us, the viewers, and also our girl, The Bachelorette, because throughout the entire season, he made it seem like he was obsessed with her, like this was his soulmate, like he couldn't breathe without her. Like he had a moment leading up to the final episode where she hadn't said I love you back yet, and he had said I love you, and he freaked out on her, and he thought that he wasn't being appreciated and that like she wasn't feeling him the way he was feeling her, and he was so tired of giving more to her than she did to him. And she validated him so much and, you know, said that I'm sorry, I'm not as eloquent with my words and I don't tell you how much I actually do love you. And like it was like this really special moment where you're just like, aw, you know, like they're so end game. And they ended up being end game. But here we have the reunion. So the reunion happens, and usually at the reunion, they show the finale and then they bring the final couple up on stage so they can talk about how life's been going after the proposal. And now that they're out in public, because the show ended, you know, how everything's been going. And during this particular season, when they brought our girl Jenn, the Bachelorette, out, she said that after the proposal happened, literally right after, she felt a shift from him. Like it just wasn't the same. This guy that was so obsessed with her, truly, you guys, like give him an Oscar. Because I swear he had me and everyone else fooled. Like, it literally seemed like he was in love with her and that he couldn't see his life or future with any other woman and that he just found his soulmate. So, to our surprise, when she says that he completely switched up right after the proposal, almost like he was waiting for a reason to end it, I guess he ended their engagement via a 15-minute phone call. You guys, insane. Insane, beyond fucked. And if you're already wondering, what does this have to do with astrology? Don't worry. We're going to go through their birth chart. And when we go through their birth chart, we're not going to judge their shitty behavior. I mean, mostly his, obviously. We're not going to judge his shitty behavior just based on his signs, but we will talk about the signs, and the signs that I know are his sun and moon. We're going to talk about them and talk about how maybe he was embodying the lower vibrational energy of these signs and how he was embodying it. So we're not going to blame his shitty behavior on just his sun and moon, but we are going to use astrology to maybe further understand why he was acting. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a brief little history for the people that didn't know what happened. Anyway, so Jenn, the bachelorette, is a Sagittarius and Libra moon. I love that combo. And actually, it was so funny because when I learned that, I was obsessed because that's Maya's sun and moon sign. So I already knew I love that combination. And I was just obsessed with her because I love the way that she always stood up for herself, but also her Libra moon. She was such an eloquent speaker, actually. I don't know what she was talking about how guy she picked, was like, such a charmer and he had a way with his words. I feel like the way she spoke, I really enjoyed it. And I like that she always took her time and really said what was on her mind and her heart, and she never rushed herself. That gives very much Libra moon. And it's funny because she's so soft-spoken, yet she says the boldest truths right to your face. So it gives very much Sagittarius sun, Libra moon. But yeah, let's talk about their signs. Like I said, she's a Sagittarius sun with a Libra moon. And then Devin, is an Aquarius. And I looked online, so he probably is a Gemini moon, but there is a chance that he is in the early degrees of Cancer moon. So he's in the late degrees of Gemini moon, but maybe the early degrees of Cancer. But based on his behavior, if I were to make a guess, I would say that he's a Gemini moon. So let's talk about the fact that he's an Aquarius sun, right? And it makes so much sense because, like I said earlier, he was the easiest to talk to, and he solidified his friendship with her very early on. He always was the first one to grab her and talk to her, and like it just always seemed like their conversations were effortless and easy. And it makes a lot of sense because they're really good at making friends. They're really good at talking to different types of people, and the conversation never gets stale. And you could really tell that he was comfortable reaching out to her, talking to her, connecting with her. And Aquariuses just thrive, I would say, in social environments. Even if there's a big group, Aquarius finds a way to stand out, right? And it was funny because actually this guy got in trouble with the boys a lot because he was always the first one to grab her. Like, they got on him for not having respect for the other men's time, but to him, he was like, I don't care, I want to talk to her, I'm going to talk to her. That gives very Aquarius sun to me, someone that isn't scared of standing out. In fact, they want to stand out. But the thing is, the negative aspects of his Aquarius sun shine through when he was able to completely close himself off after a day that he proposed. Like, this was very scary. Like, to think that someone is able to do that, I'm like, what is going on here? And it gave that like low vibrational Aquarius detached energy, right? Like, yes, this was fun, but actually I'm not feeling you no more, so bye. And they literally can do it so boldly. They can be so ruthless and heartless about it. And you will be left wondering what happened. How was this so easy for you? And it's because an Aquarius that wants to, they can build up that emotional wall so quickly that you will feel like, did I even know you? Did what we have mean anything to you? And Aquarius, if they want to, they can literally make you feel like it was a one-sided situation. And that, like I said, is an Aquarius that is low vibrational, that is uncomfortable with their feelings. Maybe one that is a liar. That might not have to do with the fact that he's an Aquarius, but because he's a liar, he was maybe able to use his Aquarius energy to be super friendly and super happy, but then out of nowhere, when he realized that he didn't need you anymore, he was able to completely shut himself off to feeling any feelings towards you. And that is very scary. We all know Aquarius is one of the best signs for detaching. They can detach themselves from a situation, from you, from anything easily, and they will not feel guilty about it. If they feel like they don't feel connected to you anymore, bye. They're not going to think twice. And just going back to his moon sign, so we're, guesstimating that he is a Gemini moon. And I think it would make sense for him to be a Gemini moon because of his ups and downs during the process. He had a lot of ups and downs. And as a Gemini moon, I say that is a very Gemini moon trait. Like, when we're happy, we're happy. When we're sad, we're sad. Our mood is always changing, and it's going based off of the stimuli around us. We're processing so much at once, and you don't really see us struggling because you see us adapting really easily to what is happening around us. But we have these emotional outburst moments when we feel overwhelmed with what's happening around us as well. And that's not talked about enough about Gemini moons because we're so good at communicating and talking. I feel like people don't realize just how emotional we can be when we are overstimulated. And again, he was really, really good at talking to everyone, to the guys. Even when they were coming at him, he was dodging that shit. He was able to hit him back with the quickness. You know what I mean? And that to me gives Gemini moon, not Cancer moon. Because Cancer moon will be thinking about how they're feeling and how this is making them feel. They would take their time processing when it comes to an argument that is happening in real time. Whereas Gemini moon, we're quick with it. We say it right back. You say something to us, we'll throw something back. We really do not shy away from an argument, and I didn't see him shy away from an argument. In fact, I feel like he encouraged it and he enjoyed it, and it was a way for him to release that pent-up energy that he has as an air dominant person. Also, another thing is that Gemini moons can be very, very indecisive. And in addition to that, they can use their pretty words to make you fall for them. And it's true. It really is true. Gemini moons are really, really good with their words. They use their words to tug on your emotional heartstrings. And they're really good at painting you a good story. And I say this as a natal Gemini moon. When I'm painting my story, I make sure it's a real story. I'm not out here being a fraud and lying to people about how I look at them and how I appreciate them or how I think we should do this. Like, when I'm painting you a vivid story of how I feel about you or what you mean to me, it's real. Gemini moons are also so good at it that they can paint you a false picture and make it look like a real one just because of how effortlessly they can be charming. You know what I mean? Jenn always talked about how he is so much better at making her feel special via his words. And honestly, no. Because you know what I mean? You're a Libra moon. You are better. I say that honestly. It's two different things. I feel like as a Gemini moon, obviously we're good at using our words to get what we want, but Libra moons are the charmers. Come on now, girl. Another issue that she had with him was that when they broke up, or even before they broke up, when they got engaged and, the show ended, he was giving her the silent treatment a lot and he was kind of pulling back a lot. And listen, this was an air sun, air moon man. You will know if an air dominant individual wants you, because if they stop talking to you, that means they don't want you. They don't play these games. Like, honestly, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you're wanted and desired by them when they're talking to you. They love talking. If they're not talking to you, chances are they're talking to somebody else. You should always, always, always bet on that. If a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra isn't talking to you, they're probably talking to somebody else because talking is their favorite hobby. So I genuinely feel like there was some foul play here. He definitely used his pretty words and his communication skills to make her feel special and make her feel like she's the only woman in the world. And then he switched the fuck up at the end of this process, which I think is the scariest thing. I think it's very scary when people are able to paint you a dream and just completely shatter it when they're done using you. I think that is one of the scariest things people can do. And they can do it in friendships. It can happen to you at your job. It can happen anywhere. I don't mean to scare you, but it's true. People are crazy. That's why I don't believe what people say. I believe what they do, their actions, and I also feel their energy. You know what I mean? Anyone can say anything. That doesn't mean shit. How they act and how they make you feel, that's what really matters. And honestly, this was just sad because astrologically speaking, these two people were quite compatible. Sagittarius sun, Aquarius sun, Libra moon, Gemini moon. That is a beautiful, beautiful combo in Synastry. But ultimately she deserves so much better. You know, no one deserves to be discarded and switched up on within a day after being proposed to. And also another thing that I didn't tell you guys, let me spill some more tea. Okay. So after he broke up with her via a 15-minute phone call, broke off their engagement via a 15-minute phone call, the next day he followed another girl from the Bachelor franchise. The girl that he thought was going to be the bachelorette before it was announced that Jenn was the bachelorette. It just gets worse and worse. Like, have some class. Control yourself. You know what I mean? Give it a fucking month or two. The next day, literally, I can't with people. I can't with people. It's just, it ain't cute. But anyway, just let this be a learning lesson. You can definitely be traditionally compatible with someone. It doesn't mean that they're your person. And then on the other end of it, you could have lots of squares in your synastry with someone, and you know, you may not be traditionally compatible with them. That doesn't mean that you guys won't get along and that you won't have a beautiful relationship. So I just think it's always good to remember that astrology is a tool. You know what I mean? You should never count someone out because you're not traditionally compatible with them. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to talk about our latest bachelorette's chart and the guy she ended up with chart, because this was a mess and she deserves so much better. I want better for my girl. Okay, she deserves real love, not this fake shit that was thrown her way. I think there's nothing worse than thinking you found the one and come to find out the one is a fraud. You know what I mean? I feel like it's better if you just are single. The worst is when people come into your life and they make you feel like you found your person, but really they're just love bombing you and they're probably using you for some reason. It's scary. It's beyond scary. But such is life, and everything is a learning lesson. And I know for a fact she'll probably find someone that will treat her 10 times better. Also, let's be a little bit messy. Comment down below what sign was the most manipulative to you and what sign love bombed you and made you feel like, oh, like this is something here, but then shattered it with the quickness. I want to know if there's a sign that has done that to you, because fuck them. But also, it's probably not about their sign. They're probably a shitty person. But I still want to know their sign, okay? Anyway, you guys, thank you for kicking it with me. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Comment about any of the topics I talked about below. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please leave me a review. That really helps me out a lot. And then if you want to comment about any of the topics, go to the YouTube channel and comment down below because I love hearing you guys' thoughts. I'm going to post the socials over here. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.